Happy Monday, everyone. It's Jonathan, and we are back with a 91-day Business Spotlight Live. And I am thrilled today to have Tim from We're Local with me. We're going to learn all about We're Local and what's going on with that. And it's neat because Tim and I are both actually tied back into JC Height, who's the one that inspired this whole 91-day Business Spotlight Live that we're doing. So, Tim, I'm thrilled to have you with us today and to hear what's going on. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and tell everybody we're local, because it is one of the coolest business ideas I've heard about in years.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for having me. And yes, the connection to JC, he's always pushing us to do more and be better, right?
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, we're local at its core. A lot of people in our industry, and when I say industry, like those of us in the digital marketing arena and industry, a lot of us have been, kind of steered down the path of, go into a niche and go deep into that niche and go nationwide with that niche. And we actually started going that direction, but we live in a, second largest town in Salem, Oregon. But we realized that what we really love to do is work with our local businesses. And so, 95% of our business is right here in our backyard. And we decided to go all in on that concept to serve a community in our backyard and in our surrounding, because there's no quicker way than, to build a relationship than when you can literally walk in, introduce yourself, or see somebody at church, see somebody at a networking event, at a chamber, at a ball game. And we love being able to do that with our local customers. And so when we were first kind of starting to think about what we're trying to do, my wife did a little research. She loves things like word hippo and the thesaurus and different things like that, far before ChatGPT, right? And she came up with it. What we want to do is build buzz for local businesses. So WHIR, WHIR, is a synonym for buzz. So we're local. And of course, it's also a play on words, because we like to say we're local and proud of it. So that's kind of a little bit of the genesis of We're Local itself.
Well, I love it. And I think, you've really keyed into something really, really key here in that you're right. So many times we're told as business people, niche down, niche down, niche down. And you've really done that, but you've done it in a different way. Instead of niche down and go national in one little sector, you said, your niche is going to be the local marketplace. And I know a lot of us have just a huge passion for our community and for supporting that. And I love what you're doing. Tell our viewers today, and those that are joining us on live and on the replay, tell us a little bit about what is We're Local, what's that provide, and if you don't mind, if it's okay, can you tell us a little bit about the business opportunity that goes along with that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, at its core, We're Local is a community-based website, and we build it community by community, and it includes a digital magazine. So we're publishing a lot of content. I'll come back to that in a second. It also includes a local business directory. And then on the back end, we've spent the last couple of years developing some marketing tools, basically on the back end, to give business owners the opportunity to help them build their online presence, to help them build their reputation, and to help them build their social proof. So digital magazine, local business directory, and some marketing tools for local businesses and nonprofits, all wrapped into this community-based website. So that's a bit in a nutshell. And now, so we built it here locally in Salem. And now what we're doing, I mean, we built the infrastructure. The goal was always to figure out, how do we expand into other communities and find those people, like you mentioned, that are passionate about their local community. The whole thought of buying local, I mean, let's face it, small businesses need our support more than ever. The problem is big box stores and corporate America are constantly kind of trying to squeeze out the little guy, right? And big tech companies and big tech media platforms, they literally are sucking billions of dollars out of our local communities, and they simply don't care. And you're not going to call some of these big tech companies. Whereas local, if you provide a local opportunity and local media, you can really truly become the hometown agency or hometown media company that cares. And we believe our local communities deserve better. And that's what we're on a mission to do, is start taking back local one neighborhood at a time.
Well, I absolutely love that concept again, and I think it's so timely. It reminds me, and if I get the analogy off here, please tell me, Tim. But it reminds me, growing up, I'm in my 50s, and I remember growing up, there was a local newspaper, and even in my small town, which only had about 4,000 people, we had a local newspaper, and it came out, and it was all local stories, and that's where the community coalesced. That's where the businesses advertised. We read the stories because it was about our community, and we wanted to know about it. Even though I was in elementary and middle school and high school during those times, we still cared. It was a big deal. I grew up in a town called Fremont, and it was the Fremont Times Indicator. And that was a big deal if you got featured in the Indicator.
Right.
Well, most of those papers nowadays are no longer, because it's just, there isn't enough to draw that. And I love how you've converted that concept into a local digital one. And if I understand it correctly, and please tell me if I'm wrong, but the opportunity there from an entrepreneur's perspective is to partner with We're Local and basically be able to start your own digital publication in your city, but get all the support, the system, and everything that's going along with that, plus lots of syndicated content. So unlike the Times Indicator that only published local stuff, you've already also got regional and even potentially national, much like, maybe the local news TV stations got local and regional and national stuff that's coming in to draw everybody in that community in. But it's a place for the local businesses then to talk about what's happening, to do their advertising, because they're going to be getting in front of the people in their community that they want to serve. Am I understanding that fairly accurate?
You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Well, I'm sold on the concept. If I wasn't as busy as I was, I'd have already signed up, because I think it's an amazing idea.
Yeah. So, you think about somebody like, you mentioned the syndicated content. So let me unpack that just for a second.
Please.
Somebody like Dave Ramsey, in radio, but somebody like Dave Ramsey produces a show, and then he syndicates that content to literally hundreds of radio stations around the country. Mm-hmm. And then that local radio station takes that content, as well as they produce local content, and then sell advertising to the local businesses. Right. That's been an age-old model.
Absolutely.
It's very similar in written and print format, of the Associated Press or other types of things. The problem is small businesses and small publishers typically don't have access to that syndicated content necessarily. So that's what we do. We write content here at corporate that we then push to. It's got a national appeal, magazine style articles that, easy to read. And we push that to every neighborhood where we have a presence. And then our local publisher can then fill in with local stories and interviews and things like you were describing with the Fremont Times to really give it that local flair and, positive, uplifting stories. We're not trying to be the news. There's plenty of negative out there. We're just,
we don't need any more of that. No,
we don't. And then we've gone the step further is to empower our local businesses then to also use the tools on the back end to publish their own content. And write alongside of ours. And if they want to start writing blog posts or quick posts like they would on social media, we help them get reviews. And so there's different things that we help them do on the back end as well. So,
love those.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say from a business standpoint, so what we're doing is we're basically licensing the technology and the brand. So you don't have to start from scratch. There's a lot of tech that we've built inside the platform along with training. And so we're licensing the opportunity to own your neighborhood, to own your community as a licensee, working directly with us at We're Local.
Well, and I want to tell you, as someone who's spent the last 13 plus years at a web development agency and gone through this, guys, the We're Local platform is solid and it's well written. If if this idea of having a local business, and no, Tim's not paying me to say this, I just love what he's doing, and I really do. If you're an entrepreneur and you're like, man, this would be great, I would love to run a digital magazine in my community, you guys need to reach out to Tim, because I'm convinced this offer is going to be going away because communities are going to get sucked up super quick. I know you're already signing up at a record pace, and that's amazing. But this is so cool. And what I love about it is that you've you've handled all the technical back end stuff that normally is, candidly, having been in the web business, it's a nightmare to pull all this together and to manage it. And if I'm not mistaken, and again, I've not talked to you in detail about this, Tim, but we've talked AI and other things like that in the past. So I understand it. That's part of the system you're buying, the training, the system, the support to be able to publish all this. Now you get to be the local owner that's going out and working with other local owners to create these local stories. You guys help them even learn how to do that. And then, am I correct too, that you're even providing, from the local perspective, they could do fulfillment locally for some of that, or that the franchise also can provide that? Is that correct?
Yeah. So what we can do, we're doing the heavy lifting really in terms of the steady stream of content, the technology. Certainly, I mean, we've invested more than I care to say,
I
into
imagine.
the technology, as you can imagine.
Yes.
And we provide the training, and then we do have some fulfillment, paid. We give a lot for free. We started with a free business profile for pretty much every local business or nonprofit in town. But then there's some paid upgrades, and we provide some fulfillment support with that. So if somebody truly wants to just go out and build relationships and lead with value, and have conversations with local businesses, I mean, what a great way to, in my humble opinion, what a great way to do it.
Oh yeah, an amazing way to do it. Well, I love the systems you've put in place, and again, this is so reminiscent of my again, my youth, where again, that local paper was important. They were showing up at the sporting events, and that's where you went to get the high school scores, and it's where you got everything. But it was great because even though the major metropolitan paper that was an hour away from us carried all that information, they had so much information, it was hard just to find yours and that local flavor. And I love how We're Local is giving that capability to communities literally across the United States. Is it just US based now? Does it go outside into Canada or anything? Or what is your...
Yeah, right now it's US, and then we also have a location in Trinidad and Tobago. So we're venturing internationally. Canada would be a pretty easy add. We're also talking to some people in Australia. That's the extent of it right now. But of course, there's tremendous opportunity right here in the US as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if you're out there and one, you like the idea of your local community and niching down to that community to serve that community, and you're possibly interested in, a business opportunity, I want to encourage you to reach out to Tim and We're Local, talk to their team, find out what's going on. Tim, you and I just met literally, I want to say a little over a month ago, and I've been so impressed with what I've already seen and what you guys are doing. So I want to just thank you for taking the time to join me today for this spotlight and share a little bit of what's going on, because it's just so incredible to see all of that come together. Tim, if they've got questions and they want to reach out, what's the best way for the people that are listening now or watching the replay to reach out and connect with you?
Well, I mean, you can jump on our website. You could go to WHIRWeRlocal.io. There's a become a publisher link at the top that allows you to see more information about what we're doing, and if you're interested in that angle, or if you just want to add your own local business to the platform, see what it's all about, there's a sign in or add your business link as well. And if you just want to reach out to me personally, by all means, you can. Should I share my email or what?
You'll feel if you like to, whatever you want. Yeah, it's totally up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Facebook. I'm really mostly on Facebook, a little bit on LinkedIn, but Tim Fahndrich on Facebook. So
I was going to say, I'm guessing there aren't near as many Tim Fahndrichs as maybe there are Joe Smiths out there.
No, they're not.
All right. Well,
I appreciate you having me on. I'm a big fan
yeah.
of what you're doing, and you're really heavy into the AI world, and I'm learning from you. And are we using AI and We're Local? Absolutely. So.
Well, I tell you, for a business today, if you're not, you're missing the boat, because if you don't use it, your competitors are going to. And, it's so much more than just content creation. That's what everybody thinks about. And that you and I've had that conversation, but it's so much more. And it's leveraging those technologies and embracing them and doing that in a way that ultimately, what I love about talking to you, Tim, is it's really about providing more value to your audience. and it allows you to do that. And that's what's so exciting. So, well, Tim, again, thank you so much. We'll tag you in the video and in the replay so it's out there. Folks, if you're listening to this and you're interested, reach out, talk to Tim, have a conversation with him and his team. And if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner that would like to be featured on our 91-day business spotlight live, we're doing this for 91 days. Today is actually day 6 because we do it each weekday. We do 10 to 15 minute go live 2 to 3 times a day. We're capped out at 130 sessions, so that's it. We've already booked, I was just telling Tim, over 50 of them already. We're booked out a couple weeks in many cases. If you're interested, get on, message me. I'll get you a link. It's easy to book. Tim, was this hard or was this something pretty simple?
This was awesome. Thank you very much. Very easy.
Awesome. So we hope to hear from you, and I hope you guys reach out to Tim. Make it a great